call the Livingston Parish regular meeting to order. This is for November 9th, 2017. Please stand. Mr. Mack, would you do the prayer for us, please?
Certainly. Thank you for that opportunity. Bow your heads, please. Dear God in heaven, we come to you tonight thanking you for the breath of life and the opportunity to serve this great parish and the people of this parish. We pray that you give us the wisdom and knowledge to make the right decisions and do good things for the people that we care about. We ask tonight a special prayer for the sick, those in need, Father, that you be with them, that your will be done in their lives. We thank you for everything you've always done for us, and we ask that you be with us in the future, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Moody, would you lead us in the
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, I'd like to point out that I'm honoring a bet that I made with Mr. Talbert, and I'm wearing Live Oaks colors tonight.
That'll teach you to run your mouth.
Well, you know, like I said, I don't know who number 70 is, but I doubt he looks as good as I look in this jersey. So, I'm being a man of my word. So I'm wearing this jersey, and I'm proud to. That if any of y'all got to see the game, if you went to the game, it was a very good game. My Cats came out a little flat, but they wore it back. I think Gary would admit that he was a little worried for a minute there or two, wasn't he, Mr. Talbot?
When we went down 21-17, I thought we were going to lose the ball game, and our boys rallied, had a drive, didn't have a little stain at the end. We got a little help on the spot. Everything was good.
He was working that spot.
I was working a change.
When I saw that from the stands, I looked at Jeff. I said, "Oh, we ain't never gonna get it now, Jeff." Gary's running the chain. So, but anyway, it's all in good fun. Miss Sandy, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Living.
Here.
Mr. Averett. Mr. Mack.
Here.
Mr. Ard.
Here.
Mr. Wascom.
Here.
Mr. Girlinghouse.
Here.
Mr. King. Mr. Harris.
Here.
Mr. Talbert.
Here.
I'd like to remind everyone to, if you have your cell phone, please mute it or turn it off so it won't interrupt the meeting. And this is a public meeting, so if you have anything to say about any item that comes up, just raise your hand to be recognized. We'll bring it to the front and hear what you have to say. Item 7 is the presentations. I think we have none tonight. Item 8 is to adopt the minutes from the October 25th, 2017 regular meeting of this council. Any discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Wascom. Second by Mr. Ard. Any discussion from the audience? Any discussion from the council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. For the sake of time, we're going to skip to item 13. Planning Department recommendation, Mr. Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, council members. First on the agenda is Audubon Lake's second filing. I guess your first motion would be to accept the roads and improvements into the maintenance system. This is, like I say, this is in Mr. Gary Talbot's district. Second filing, we went out there and reviewed the thing, looked at it, and we come here for you guys to.
I'll make the motion to accept the roads.
Motion by Mr. Talbot, second by Mr. Harris. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Next is to release the $59,642 amount for the maintenance bond.
I'll make that motion contingent upon we figure out who's responsible for the damage to the front of the entrance.
Okay.
As long as we get that issue resolved, we can release the bond as long as we have somebody that we can hold responsible for that situation.
And I'm sure the colleagues know a little bit about this. This is a small little concern in front of the subdivision, and I think Mr. Talbot's been, he wants to address this before it gets too far along. So we're going to ask the developers and previous developers to pitch in and see if we can get this thing corrected before we go any further with letting bond loose.
Motion by Mr. Talbot. Second. Second by Mr. Ard. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right.
Okay, next on our agenda is from the Planning Commission, our recommendations. First on the agenda is the green condominiums / townhomes. This is in Mr. Scoot King's area. It's a recommendation that the Livingston Parish Planning Commission approve the preliminary site plan for the Greens condominiums / townhomes. This is going to be built right there by the old country club off of Lockhart Road.
I'll make the motion, Scooter, because they're built, the same group's building some in my district. They built some, kind of by the railroad tracks on, what is that, in Walker by the railroad tracks?
Lockhart?
Burgess Road?
Burgess, on
Burgess,
Burgess. And they're nice little developments, and most people are buying them and living in them, so it's.
This one's right behind the baseball field.
No, sir, that's before you get to the baseball
But
field.
before you get to that triangle piece, that
Yeah.
triangle piece
Yeah.
where it's right off the road, where the railroad, that little,
Yeah, I know you're talking.
Gotcha.
and they're nice little
Yep.
deals.
All right, that's a motion by Mr. Talbot. Second. Second by Mr. Mack. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item B.
Next on the agenda is the Highlander subdivision preliminary plat. This is also in Mr. Scooter King's area. Macklin and Taylor is our engineers. It's a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary plat for Highlander subdivision.
Sam, I noticed there was a concern, there had been some discussion before about driveways on state highways. Can we make them put a turnaround on those driveways? Or-
State mandates.
Okay, so state mandates.
State mandates turnarounds.
So all those lots that face Kane Market are going to be required to put turnarounds on those driveways?
That's correct.
Okay.
They've
So it
already-
addresses the concern that the people at the planning commission had. Okay. I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Talbot.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Harris. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item C.
Okay, next on our agenda is Nickens Lake subdivision, second filing. This is in Mr. Bubba Harris's district. Mr. Bubba was at our planning commission meeting, and we thank him for coming. It's a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary plat for Nickens Lake subdivision, second filing.
I'll make a motion to accept that.
Motion by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. Wascom. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Next on your agenda is Spring Lake subdivision, eighth filing, preliminary plat. This is in Mr. Jeff Ard's district, off the Walker North Road. It is a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the preliminary plat for Spring Lake subdivision, eighth filing.
And this is all with curbs and gutters.
It is. All of it's curb and gutters, yes, sir.
I'd like to make the motion
No
to accept.
ditches.
Motion by Mr. Ard,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Talbot. Any discussion for the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Man, that was an enthusiastic aye there, guys.
Okay, next on your agenda is a waiver, number of lots on servitude. This is in Mr. Tracy Garlinghouse's district.
Yes, it is.
It is a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the waiver for the additional lot on this servitude for Miss Faye B. Newman.
Well, I would make a recommendation, but I can't. Thank you. Motion by Mr. Ard. Second. Second by Ms. I recommend that we do so. I went and looked at it, and I spoke with Mr. Barnes about it at length yesterday.
They good with it?
He's good with it. And so he's good with it, I am too. But motion by Mr. Ard, second by Mr. Mack. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Wasn't much better out of that time.
Okay, next on the agenda and last is a waiver for number of lots on the servitude. This is actually Mr. Jeffrey Abear's waiver for the additional lot. This is in Mr. Shane Mack's district. It is a recommendation of the Livingston Parish Planning Commission to approve the waiver for an additional lot on a servitude for Mr. Jeffrey Abear, contingent on the setback listed on the plat to be corrected to reflect the new setback ordinance that you guys just put in place here a few months back. They showed 5, and the engineer or the surveyor said that they would address that. In fact, I think they did address it. They're just going to make it good on the plat, showing 6 foot and less 5 foot.
I'd like to make that motion that we accept that with the waiver based on the conditions that Sam just spoke of.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Mack, second by Mr. Lobel. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That it, Mr. Sam?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Go enjoy yourself. We're going to move back to item 10, which brings up my good friend Mark Harrell from the Office of Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness. Give me some good news, Mr. Harrell. Good news. Good news for District 7, huh?
It is some pretty good news. The first one I'm seeking is a resolution authorizing Mr. Layton to sign a contract with Gasway and Bankston to finally move forward with the safe room for Walker. That's been a long time coming. We put it all on hold after the flood, and they've got their match, and they're excited and they're ready to roll.
Outstanding. This is the way they're going to use the safe house. They're also going to multi-use for like an event center, or just the city of Walker is going to make good use of it. So
It's going on at the city of Hutchinson Park,
Yeah.
so it's going to improve their facility and also give us a safer.
all right, thank you.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ard, second by Mr. Wascom. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? Ms. Sandy, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Lobel.
Yes.
Mr. Mack.
Yes.
Mr. Ard.
Yes.
Mr. Wascom.
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 is authorize a resolution, or approve a resolution, authorize the waterway debris cleanup fund. We're almost there. We still have some hiccups with wildlife and fisheries on the Tickfall River, or the upper reaches of the Tickfall River, because that is a scenic waterway. And we're in discussions on what law can come out and what's got to stay. But everything else, we're just about ready to roll on, so I'm just trying to get moving, and this is part of the process. I have to have a resolution, and also one to approve the cost share.
Mark, is that going to get done? I mean, I know the cost share is budgeted in 2017. Is it going to get done in 2017 or not?
Don't ask me to answer that at this time, because we're still in
You don't know when you're
negotiations
going
on
to start.
Tickfall River.
Okay.
Can we do those together, or we do them separately, Ms. Sandy?
If nobody objects.
Yeah, I think without objection.
Together? All right, so I need a motion to approve the resolution to authorize the waterway debris cleanup and authorize the funding in the amount of $354,116 to cover the 10% cost share.
I'll make that.
Motion by Mr. Mack, second by Mr. Lobel. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? Ms. Sandy, would you call the vote, please?
Mr. Lobel.
Yes.
Mr. Mack.
Yes.
Mr. Ard.
Yes.
Mr. Wascom.
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse.
Yes.
Mr. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. Talbot.
Yes.
And that debris cleanup that includes the waterways, including like West Coyell, correct? Is that part of it?
It's going to be Coyell, basically from the bay to Buddy Ellis. It's going to be the tall Benny that we're doing from 22 to the interstate. And then it's going to be Tickfall River from the state park to the St. Helena line. And from the state park, almost halfway, there's not an issue. It's just from the halfway point north is all scenic. And it's actually illegal. We're trying to get a waiver to pull the stuff out of that one. Would you allow me to ask a couple of questions?
Absolutely.
We had a meeting yesterday with FEMA and GOSEP on MHUs and the possibilities of our people buying their units and leaving them in place or whatever. And they questioned the fact whether we would be interested in allowing another 90-day extension on the MHUs. They're considering it. The only thing is, on those 90 days, they're going to charge rent. They're going to do all kinds of things with it. Honestly, I don't see a lot of people looking for it, but I want to ask you what your pleasure is on that. Would y'all want to extend that for another 90 days? You know, you've set it up where they must come out in February.
So we said, we originally were 18 months from.
Yes, sir.
But it wasn't from the flood, it was from what day did we approve that? So it's,
Well, no, sir. It's 18 months from the day the storm hit.
oh, okay, it was 18, not from the day we acted on it, from 18 days.
From the day the storm hit. So that's going to happen in February.
I think in my subdivision, there's one trailer left, and it's a house that had two, and I think part of the people are in the house, but they have a child that's autistic, and so I think the trailer's still there for him. But for the most part, I think if I know my subdivision, what's the rest of them?
I've gotten a few phone calls. The trailers, they're not in a subdivision, but the people are still not quite ready to move out. And so I would be in favor of giving them that 90-day extra extension.
Now, do they understand that they'll be paying rent? They will be paying their own electric bill. They will be paying everything.
They do understand that, and they also understand that the rent is pretty steep.
It's very steep.
But just 3 months worth, and that
We get them where they need to go.
So they're renting,
they're saying.
So I guess the question is, so is this 3 months, this 90-day extension only going to be on FEMA trailers? And so if we exempted everything for 18 months. So if you're not in a FEMA trailer, you still have to be out you still got to have that off your property by February?
That's at your pleasure, whatever. I'm coming to you on behalf of FEMA trailers.
You're talking about travel trailers such as that?
Yeah, there were people that moved travel trailers and moved that didn't qualify for FEMA and needed places, so we were at 100 and we were at 18 months on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, are we going to let everything roll over for 90 more days? Are we going to let FEMA rent to people for 90 more days?
Well, I believe if you're going to allow them to rent,
We're going to let
then you're going to
everybody-
let everybody do it. It's 90 days, guys. That's my opinion.
I agree.
It's 90 days. I mean,
now, I have a question. So they're, after February, they would have to rent just the trailer that sits on their lot, correct? So they're paying rent of
And
a
it's
movable
very
piece.
expensive. And they also, if they qualify, they can purchase it, but I can tell you the price for an 8x40, you've seen the very small express models, that's $26,000. They can go to GSA and purchase that through the bid process off of Sherwood Forest for a fraction of that. So if you people start talking about the price of the units and how high it is, you can tell them to go to the GSA website. They can bid on a unit just like that for a fraction of the cost. Now,
I'm sorry, what is GSA website?
Government Services Administration.
Yeah.
General Service Administration?
yes.
Yeah, it's just a website that's all
Would it be the
government.
same trailer that they were living in, or would it be a...
No, sir, but they can go to the lot, walk around, pick the 2 or 3 they like, and then get online and start bidding.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind, if you purchase the unit that you're living in,
Yes, sir.
and we allowed them, and they allowed theirself to put that unit at a certain height that's actually below BFE. So if you buy your trailer, you've got to move it up instantly. So what's good for them is not good for you, unfortunately.
A double standard.
Absolutely, it's a double standard.
I can't believe.
but I think it might be beneficial to someone who's this close to being in their house.
Correct.
They need a month.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They need 2 months, so they pay that rent, they pay their utilities, and then
So a motion to extend it for 90 days would be in order? I'll make that.
Agenda, is it?
Okay.
it's not on the agenda. But I think
No,
it's-
but just think about it. I'll get it on the next agenda. I just wanted you to start thinking about it between now and then.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't be fresh. All right. Thank y'all so much.
When
Have a
does
good
this
evening.
start, Mr. Moore?
February.
February.
February. We've got plenty of time, so.
All right, but we have 3 months after February,
Yes.
be March, April, May.
And Mark, who-
And then I will go along with it as long as they don't want to come back and go another 3 months, another 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is a final
We could be going on forever.
Well, if you're willing to rent, there's gonna be a lot of people not gonna rent. They're pulling them out every day.
Yeah.
They're just not gonna pay that price. But like you said, they only need 30 more days. It's better for them to rent at the high price for 30, 45 days.
And that'll cause people to step up their game too, so.
And that's what they're doing.
when did trash pickup start again? When did it start the last
Great.
round?
Monday morning.
So Monday it started, when's it gonna end?
I think it's December the 11th or 12th is the last day that we could physically do it.
Are these scheduled pickups, so they call your office to
We've
schedule
got
these?
116 pickups on our list now. We have verified all of them. Out of the 116, we have 2 that we can't pick up because of electric lines or trees. You know how the trees get in your way and you can't reach and get them, so.
So what number do they need to call, Mark?
225-68, it's too late to call. I'm sorry, it's been
Oh, you can't-
advertised for
okay,
months.
that's fine, that's
The
what I was
6th, the 6th was the last day. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, if I stop at his house and pick his up, and then I go to the next house that's on the list, and there's someone in the middle that's already got a pile out, we're not gonna leave it. We're gonna grab it and go. But if we don't have something on a road, we got, 1,100 something roads,
If you've already been down that street,
we're not
you're
going down
back.
it if it's not something on it. We have to finish it up. Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to go to item 11, establish revocation procedure for streets, quitclaims, servitudes, and right-of-ways. This is an introduction of an ordinance. Mr. Mack?
Yes, sir. I would like to make a motion that we introduce this ordinance. And what this is about is this is going to give us, for the first time, a list of steps and requirements so that all could be aware of how to, revocate or do a quitclaim on a parish servitude or a parish right-of-way to go from public back to private. We haven't had that in the past, and I think that maybe sometimes, people think that it should be done a certain way or something, and this is actually going to give you a list of rules that have to be followed to make sure that all T's are crossed and all I's are dotted, and that, everybody's treated fair and the same, and that we can do this the right way. So I'm really excited about this one. And the people that put this together did an outstanding job. I'm really proud of it. So I'd like to make that motion. We introduce this, and if anybody has any questions over the next 2 weeks, they're certainly welcome to ask, and we'll try to get
A second.
Motion by Mr. Mack, second by Mr. Wascom. Read anything? You need to read it? Read by title.
This will be proposed ordinance 17-43. This is an ordinance to amend Chapter 13 Plan and Development, Article 1 in general, by adding Section 13-3, Streets, Quitclaim, Servitude, and Rights-of-Way Revocation Procedure of the Code of Ordinances in and for the Parish of Livingston. The public hearing will be at 6 p.m. on November 21st.
Thank you, Ms. Sandy. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? Ms. Sandy, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Lovell?
Yes.
Mr. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Ard?
Yes.
Mr. Wascom?
Yes.
Mr. Girlinghouse?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Talbert?
Yes.
Item 12, amendment section 13-49.6, requirements for minor subdivisions. This is an introduction ordinance. Mr. Mack.
I would like to defer that 4 weeks from tonight.
December 14th?
December 17th?
14th.
I mean, 17th.
We're gonna introduce it, you introduce on the 21st, so that we can discuss on the 14th, right? Because we're not gonna, that'll be the last meeting of the year, the 14th. Is it gonna be ready?
It will be ready. When is that? November the 21st? It's 95% complete right now.
That's not this coming Tuesday, but Tuesday week.
Yeah, that's after the election and everything. Yeah, it'll be ready.
So you want to defer until November?
November the 21st, which is a Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And we agreed to meet that Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be positive, and it's going to be a good thing for Livingston Parish. What did you say, Sam?
So it needs to go on.
Put it on this agenda.
That's fine.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Deferred till November 21st, 2017.
Sorry for any confusion.
That's okay. 12, let me just skip around here, so 13, did that, we're at 15. Board appointments, Livingston Parish Fire Protection District number 11, Mr. Mack.
Yes, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. Can we do this in one motion? I got 3 appointments. 3 reappointments.
Same board?
Same board.
I assume so.
I would like to make a motion that we reappoint Jane Duffy Sullivan, Raymond Addison, and Don Kinchin to Fire District 11, North Albany.
A second.
It says Jane Sullivan, Raymond Addison,
Yes, sir. And one more, Don Kinchin.
Don Kinchin.
That's right. It's 2-year appointments, and they expired in November.
Which is, that was a motion to appoint Jane Sullivan, Raymond Addison, and Don Kinchin to reappoint them to
That's correct.
Fire Protection District number 11. That's the motion by Mr. Mack. Second by Mr. Wascom. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item B, appointment to the Livingston Parish Library Board. Mr. Talbert.
I would like to reappoint Ms. Debbie Henson. Her term actually expired in June, but she's been serving on a month-to-month basis. I'd like to reappoint her, and her term will be, expire in June of 2022.
That's Miss Debbie Henson.
Ms. Debbie Henson.
And that's a motion?
Yes, please.
Motion by Mr. Talbert. Second by Mr. Ard. Any discussion from the audience?
Is that a 5-year term?
2. It is 5.
No, they're all 5 years.
5-year, okay.
Anything from the council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Item 16, request for waiver of intent on the allowance of permitting due to the restrictions of LP Ordinance number 17-22, section 13-46.1, prohibitions and restrictions of use for mobile manufactured homes to be placed in a named subdivision for the intent of on-site custom-built single-family homes. And we have one, it's in Mr. Mack's district, for Mr. Benjamin Bridges, Shadow Lakes Estate, 28224 Shadow Lake Drive, Holden, Louisiana, 70744. How say you, Mr. Mack?
And I would like to make a motion that we grant that waiver to put that mobile home at that designated address. That is south of I-12 off George White Road. This is actually Shadow Lake Drive, but it's just south of George White, and it's going to be fine. There's multiple trailers in that area, and shouldn't have any problems.
Outstanding. Motion by Mr. Mack.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Lobel. Any discussion from the audience? Anything further from the council? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Item 17, discussion on Gravity 6 and Gravity 7 drainage tax proposals. Mr. Hard.
All right, I asked to put this on first to remind everybody that early voting's going on right now in the actual election next Saturday. I'll speak a little bit on 6, and Shane, and then Tad, if you want to speak on 7. I haven't really been involved with 7. But we mainly wanted to express how important this is to our parish. Over 80% of our parish doesn't pay a drainage tax at all. We get complaints all the time about how much is being done in Walker and Denham and Watson. They pay a gravity drainage tax. So they have people that are dedicated to do that. This is your opportunity to pass a tax where your money stays in your backyard to take care of the drainage in your area. It does not go in the general fund. This is your opportunity to have your little area in your district. It's a very good thing to do this. You can go look at what these gravity drainages have done on the west side. They've done a tremendous job. Now, the August flood, this would not have helped.
Absolutely.
This is not why we started this before the August flood. We started this really after the flood in March of 2016. That's what kind of pushed us. This could have helped the people in March because it was our canals that were backed up. That's what we want to help clean out and fix. August 2016, there's nothing we could have done would have stopped that. So I want to really emphasize how important it is. District 6 is 128,000 acres. That's just the north side. That 7's bigger. We're hoping we have money in the general funds to help take care of drainage in these areas. There's more than 300 miles of ditches, canals, creeks, and rivers just in District 6. District 7's probably double that if I was to guess, because that's where everybody drains. We're asking in 6 for a half-cent sales tax and a 5 mil property tax. We need both of them to pass to generate enough money. This also will allow us to get grants. We can at least apply for grants. You have to have a gravity drainage established to apply for the grants. So, in essence, this little bit of money could turn into a lot of money because now we can apply for grants.
Yeah, we had a perfect example tonight that we are getting $3.5 million worth of river cleanup done for the $350,000, the 10%, because you have a funding mechanism in place to be able to get that money. If you do not have a way to get any funding for these gravity drainage districts, they miss out on those opportunities to get either the stuff done for 75% or, in this case, the 90%. You just have to come up with the 25 or the 10%. So that's something that is, I feel, it could be easily overlooked, but very, very important that you have the opportunity when these natural disasters happen. You can get things done at a really, really reduced rate.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I would like to say a few things. What we're trying to do is put together an effective and honest program to fix the off-road gravity drainage problems that currently exist on the east side of Livingston Parish. And I believe that this is the answer and that this is going to be one of the greatest things that's happened on the east side of Livingston Parish in a long, long time. And I think y'all have covered just about everything. I think we've talked about the boundaries in the past. I want to mention the fact that a 5 mil property tax on a $100,000 assessed value piece of property in Gravity Drainage District 6, if you subtract the homestead exemption, it's going to cost you $12.50 a year. On a $150,000 assessed value, if you subtract homestead exemption, it's going to cost you $37.50 a year. That's Gravity Drainage District 6 north of the interstate. That is a small price to pay to improve the quality of life and to help in every which way you can make Livingston Parish the future of our kids and our grandkids so that they can inherit our properties that we work hard to pay for and make Livingston Parish a better place to live. I'd also like to say that Gravity Drainage District 7 is going for an 8 mil property tax, and I think $100,000. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Do you know it, Tab? Assessed value of $100,000 on an 8 mil property tax is somewhere around $20 a year. $20 a year that we're asking the people to pay with an assessed value of $100,000 a piece of property. You know, you got to subtract your homestead exemption. That's what we're asking for. We're also asking, if your property is $150,000 in Gravity Drainage District 8, 7. The 8 mil property tax would cost you about
$60.
on $150,000. It'd be about $60 a year, and I think that's a small price to pay to give this group and individuals an opportunity to truly go and enforce effective gravity drainage for the folks on the east side of Livingston Parish. And we're asking that if it be the will of the people, please go out next Saturday, the 18th, and vote for this, and give us that opportunity to make a difference. We truly believe that this is the answer. If you have any questions between now and then, please call our cell phones, and so we can answer those questions about the intent and purpose of the gravity drainage districts. Like I say, we want a honest, well-run, effective. We want to measure productivity. We want to make sure that the taxpayers' dollars are spent wisely, and it's going to be a good thing for everybody. And really would appreciate y'all's help and support on that.
I'll only add one more thing. District 1, which is the Denham Springs area, they collect $2.7 million a year. District 2, which is the Watson area, collects $1.1. District 5, Walker area, collects $2.1. The other 80% of our parish collects $0. That's why we're asking this. It's time for everybody to pay their part and try to get our parish draining the right way.
Shane, there was a question. I don't know if it was it's on an email, that the people say, well, are they going to take the money and hire companies to come in and do this work, or are they going to hire the people to do the work? And I don't know what y'all's plans are, but like in District 1, they have a crew. They go out and work on drainage problems every day.
That's our plan.
Local. And that's
Same thing.
Yeah.
Local voters.
It's local, and it's the best way to do it. You spend a lot less money doing it like that than you're hiring contractors to go do it.
That's exactly right. That is the plan. We would like to hire local individuals from the areas within the districts to consistently go out and maintain these ditches and lateral ditches, creeks, and improve the drainage. And I think that if you maintain these on a consistent basis, you know, that we're going to be better off and prepared before the storm hits. You know, instead of trying to go in and put together cleaning projects, you know, after natural disasters hit. This is going to be good for us. And I would like to say something too. When we were starting this a year ago and putting together our plans and everything, we took a look at Gravity Drainage District 1 and the Gravity Drainage Districts on the west side of Livingston Parish, and those well-run programs, what we're trying to do over here is just simply duplicate, I would like to say copycat, an effective, well-run program. You know, when something is working well for you, it's okay to copycat and repeat that process. You know, and that's what we're trying to do over here on the east side of Livingston Parish, and we really need to get this going for us.
One thing about hiring your local people they know the problems already with the drainage. They know which ditches need it the worst, starting out.
That's right. I would also like to say one more thing to make sure that the public hears this. I'm sure somewhere along the line there may be a time or two that a contract needs to be awarded. I would like to make sure that the public knows that if a contract was ever awarded to a contractor, that it would be done fairly and honest and open, and everybody would be treated equal. And like I say, we want to put together a positive, honest, well-run program that's good for all. And really appreciate y'all.
I represent the Watson area. We've got gravity drainage too over there. It's been effective. It's helped me a lot since I've been a councilman. I try to go to a meeting once a month. They have 2 meetings a month. If you've got an issue, you can go in and address the board with concerns you have. At the same time, since I've been a councilman, there's been some joint projects between the gravity drainage district and the parish. Sam told me about a project that's currently going on, getting ready to start, where it's going to actually be between the state, the parish, and the gravity drainage district on a parish canal that runs through some box culverts under a state highway. And so you end up getting a lot of cooperation because you're working at a very local level on the problems that you have. The state doesn't know which way your water flows. They don't. When they build a road, they know if they cross the canal that there's a canal there, but they're not studying on where all your water's coming from and where all your water's going to. And if you don't have somebody providing that information to them and working with them, then you're not going to get a lot of help from them. And so this is as basic a tax can be. We complain all the time about paying taxes going to Washington. We never know where they go to. This tax is gonna go straight into your community where you live, and it's only gonna clean ditches, lateral ditches and canals within the district that the money's generated in. So it's as basic a tax as you could want. So as living outside the district, I would greatly encourage you to support it because, if we get these passed, then all of Livingston Parish will be covered by gravity drainage. And we won't have the situation where, one part's being taken care of, another part we're waiting on if we have money in the budget to resolve those issues.
Just to clarify, I know folks want to know this money will stay in that district.
Yeah, it's absolutely stay.
Dedicated to your district, your backyard.
And I think Gary touched on it. Like you said, these gravity drainage districts have monthly meetings where the public come in and give input and help run an effective gravity drainage district.
It's real close to the people in the district. I know District 1, where Denham Springs is. When I was on the Denham Springs City Council, Denham Springs would have funding to improve a canal that was concrete, but we didn't have the labor, the manpower. We would do an intergovernmental agreement between the city or the municipality and the gravity drainage district, and together we would get a project that would go through the city out into the parish. And it worked really good because the city has some strengths in some ways, but these gravity drainage districts have a lot of manpower and this equipment, and this is all they do. They don't worry about roads. They don't take care of other problems. And the number one complaint in Denham Springs that I would get is drainage. And the gravity drainage takes such a load from that off of the city, off the municipality. So I'm encouraging, if anyone in Denham Springs has friends on the east side of this parish, please encourage them to go support this.
It's more of a master plan approach rather than just
Absolutely.
And look,
fix this little problem, fix this little problem, fix this little problem.
The gravity drainage, even in the Walker area, those guys that work there are really intimately connected with the community. So they want to see things done correctly. They want to see things done right. And, there's an opportunity in 6 and 7 where they can have the same situation. And those guys can come in. They're going to care. They're going to care about getting that ditch because it's not going to be a quick a quick, let's just run through and take care of. These guys are going to care about things getting done right. And what John is saying is correct. People come and they sit and they talk to their gravity drainage board. They talk to their people. And these guys care. They will come to your house and they're your neighbors. And they want it, and they work with the city, they work with the municipalities, and they get these things done. And you can go through, there's always, it's an ongoing process. It's not something you clean and you go, okay, well, it's done. It's an ongoing process. It's a 365 day a year thing. But if I challenge you, anyone who lives in 6 and 7 in those districts, to just drive through Walker, drive through Denham, drive through Watson, and look at the laterals. I mean, for the most part, they're clean. They're beautiful, and that's your money at work. And it's real, and it's at work, and you can see it, and you have an opportunity to have that very thing in your own backyard, and it's your money. What they're saying is absolutely true. Money that's collected in Walker doesn't go to Watson. Money that's collected in Denham doesn't go to Walker or Watson. It's the money you collect is spent directly in your community. And I mean, I can't support this thing enough. And it's not in my district, but I want it to pass very, very badly for the people of those districts, because it needs to happen, and it's not going to happen unless they do vote for it. It's going to continue to be a struggle. So, I would, if anyone's on the fence or they're wondering, just drive through. You don't have to go to a specific place. Just pick somewhere in one of these districts and go look at the canals that run through the city. And I think you'll see where that money's spent, and it's well spent. So, anything else, guys?
That's all I have.
Anything covered?
Don't forget to vote.
Oh yeah, please go vote. Anything?
Remember, early voting till Saturday?
One question. What is the time frame of the early voting? Does anybody know? What time does it open and close? 8:30 to 6. Early voting is 8:30 to 6. It's closed tomorrow, but it's open this Saturday, and then of course next Saturday is the actual election.
Okay. Mr. Moody, you got anything?
No reports.
Nothing. Man, you got a good job, don't you?
There are days.
Except on council meeting nights.
Mr. Mack.
We touched on that earlier. No further comments. We touched on the pond ordinance and the minor subdivision ordinance. Deferring the pond ordinance till December 7th or the 14th. I got my dates messed up.
Yeah.
And then the minor subdivision ordinance, the 21st of November.
Correct. Mr. Talbot.
Finance met today. We talked about the budget a little bit. Had some questions with respect to capital improvements and state revenue and federal revenue, why it was in our general fund, and got some answers today. And I think we're pretty much set. We're going to have a meeting next on the 21st before, and then we'll get some final numbers on the amendments. Amending the budget of 17. I think 18 budget's kind of in place, and we'll introduce it at that next meeting for final approval on the 14th of December. So.
Any other comments from the council on anything?
Yeah, it's great to see Mr. Travis Clark still kicking.
It is.
Still showing his support.
He come in here. He's wearing Walker green for me.
Yeah.
See, that ought to tell you. Mayor Clark come in. He knew I had to wear this Live Oak jersey, so he come in and support the Walker guy wearing green. I appreciate that. Look at that.
You got Walker High School.
I appreciate you, Mayor Clark. Got my back. I appreciate
I want to wish all 5 Livingston Parish football teams good luck tomorrow night.
Oh, yes.
Hip, hip.
Springfield, Live Oak, Walker, and Denham all go on the road. If I'm not mistaken, Albany's hosting the game.
Albany's home.
Albany's hosting the game. And some have tougher
Schedules than the other.
some have tougher battles than others, but
Yes.
it's going to be a good evening. All 5 teams are in it. That's probably the first time in history. I know it's the first time in history that all 3 5A teams have made the playoffs in the same year. So good luck to all those guys.
Let's all pull whoever goes on to the next.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
All the way.
Even if it's denim, right, Tracy?
Not get carried away. Nah,
And I
of course I
want to commend Live Oak High School. I know that Livingston Parish doesn't have to release their scores, but they were scored number 5 in the state. That's a great job by the administration, let's be honest, it's about funding from the community. I mean, we get, not only do we have a dedicated half-cent sales tax to District 22, but I think we got 23 mills on our property tax dedicated just to the schools outside of the whole parish-wide taxes, just in the Watson area. So, you know, if you want something good and something that works, you got to pay for it. So we're seeing success in the schools, and a lot of it because of support from the community and the money that they're getting. So I just want to commend the administration and Live Oak for the job they're doing.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Wascom, second by Mr. Hart. Any discussion from the council? Anything from the audience? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?